Before praying, let us read Psalm 5:8. Lead me, Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. There is a gentle comfort in beginning the day with the awareness that we are not walking alone, nor are we stepping into uncertainty without guidance. The quiet plea of this verse is not loud or demanding, but soft and deeply trusting. It reminds us that before our feet touch the ground, before our thoughts fully awaken, there is already a path being prepared. The Lord does not wait behind us, urging us forward from a distance. Instead, He lovingly walks ahead, clearing what we cannot see, straightening what we cannot understand, and softening what might otherwise wound us. In this stillness, we are invited to release the tight grip of control and simply follow, step by step, with a heart that leans gently into divine direction. Sometimes, the day ahead feels uncertain, even heavy, filled with responsibilities, silent worries, or unseen challenges. Yet this verse speaks into that quiet fear with a calm assurance. It does not promise that there will be no obstacles, but it offers something far more sustaining, the presence of God going before us. When He leads, even the crooked roads begin to align with purpose. Even delays carry hidden grace. Even moments of confusion become invitations to trust more deeply. The beauty of this promise is not found in perfection, but in companionship. You are not required to have all the answers today. You are only invited to walk gently and faithfully behind the one who sees all things clearly. As you sit with these words, allow them to settle softly into your spirit. Let them remind you that you are guided, even when you feel unsure. Let them quiet the inner urgency that tells you to rush, to solve, to control. There is a slower, more peaceful rhythm available to you today, a rhythm shaped by trust. When the Lord goes before you, you are free to walk with less fear and more faith. You are free to breathe a little deeper, to notice small moments of grace, and to move forward without carrying the weight of the unknown. His righteousness becomes your path, not because you earned it, but because He lovingly offers it. There is something deeply human about wanting to see the entire path before taking the first step. We long for clarity, for certainty, for reassurance that everything will unfold safely and smoothly. Yet, in the quiet unfolding of faith, we are gently reminded that God rarely reveals the whole journey at once. Instead, He offers something more intimate, His presence in each step. When the Lord goes before you, He is not only preparing the road ahead, but also shaping your heart to walk it with grace. Each moment becomes less about reaching a destination and more about learning to trust the one who leads. In the stillness of the morning, before the noise of the day begins, there is a sacred invitation to surrender your plans. Not because your plans are wrong, but because they are limited. God sees beyond what you can imagine, beyond what you can anticipate, beyond what you can control. When you allow Him to go before you, you are choosing a path that is guided by wisdom greater than your own. This does not mean that fear disappears instantly, but it does mean that fear no longer leads. Instead, a quiet confidence begins to grow, a steady assurance that even if you do not understand the way, you are still being led in love. There may be moments today when things do not go as expected. A conversation may feel difficult, a task may seem overwhelming, or a door you hoped would open may remain closed. In these moments, it is easy to question whether you are on the right path. But remember this gentle truth: God's guidance is not always confirmed by ease, but by His presence. Even in discomfort, even in uncertainty, He remains ahead of you, working in ways you cannot yet see. What feels like a delay may be protection. What feels like confusion may be redirection. What feels like silence may be a deeper form of guidance, inviting you to listen more closely. As you move through your day, try to carry a softer awareness within you. Instead of rushing ahead with anxious thoughts, pause and remember that you are being led. When decisions arise, you do not have to force clarity. You can take a breath, whisper a quiet prayer, and trust that the next step will be revealed in time. God's guidance often comes gently, not in loud declarations, but in subtle nudges, peaceful convictions, and quiet shifts within your spirit. Learning to recognize these moments is part of the journey, and it requires patience, stillness, and trust. There is also a beautiful freedom in allowing God to go before you. It means you do not have to carry the weight of every outcome. You do not have to ensure that everything works out perfectly. Your role is not to control the path, but to walk it faithfully. When you release the burden of control, you make space for peace to enter. You begin to notice that even in the midst of uncertainty, there is a steady undercurrent of calm, a reminder that you are held, guided, and never alone. Perhaps today is a day where you feel strong and confident, ready to face whatever comes. Or perhaps it is a day where your heart feels tired, your mind feels heavy, and your spirit longs for rest. Wherever you find yourself, this truth remains the same. The Lord goes before you. His presence is not dependent on your strength. His guidance is not limited by your weakness. He meets you exactly where you are and gently leads you forward, one step at a time. Let this awareness settle deeply within you as the day unfolds. When you encounter uncertainty, remind yourself that you are not walking into the unknown alone. When you feel overwhelmed, remember that the path has already been prepared. When you are tempted to rush, allow yourself to slow down and trust the timing of God's leading. There is no need to strive for perfection. There is only an invitation to walk in trust, to listen with a quiet heart, and to follow with gentle faith. And as the day continues, may you find small moments that remind you of His presence, a kind word, a peaceful pause, a sense of clarity where there was once confusion. These are not coincidences, but quiet confirmations that He is indeed going before you, guiding you with care and love. Hold on to these moments, not as proof that everything will always be easy, but as reminders that you are never alone on the path. Heavenly Father, as this new day unfolds, I come before you with a quiet and open heart. I do not know all that lies ahead, and I cannot see every turn that waits for me, but I take comfort in knowing that you are already there. You have gone before me, preparing what I cannot prepare, arranging what I cannot control, and softening what I may not yet understand. Lord, lead me gently in your righteousness today. When my thoughts begin to wander into worry, draw me back into your peace. When my heart feels uncertain, remind me that I am held securely in your care. I do not ask for a day without challenges, but I ask for your presence within every moment. Let me walk with a spirit that is calm, steady, and deeply rooted in trust. Lord, I surrender my plans into your hands. Every task, every conversation, every decision, I place them before you. If there are paths I should not take, lovingly redirect me. If there are words I should not speak, quiet my lips. If there are opportunities that align with your will, give me the courage to step forward with faith. Help me to listen more than I speak, to pause more than I rush, and to trust more than I fear. When things do not go as I expected, keep my heart from frustration and lead me into understanding. Remind me that your ways are higher than mine, and that even in moments of delay or discomfort, you are still working for good. Today, I declare that I will not walk in fear, because you are before me. I will not be overwhelmed, because you are with me. I will not be lost, because you are guiding me. Let your peace guard my heart and mind, like a gentle covering that shields me from anxiety. Let your wisdom flow into my thoughts, helping me to see clearly and act with grace. Let your love shape my interactions, so that I may bring kindness into every space I enter. Even in small moments, help me to reflect your presence through patience, through gentleness, through quiet strength. Father, I also lift up the hidden burdens within me, the worries I have not spoken, the fears I have tried to ignore, the weight I sometimes carry in silence. You see all of it, and you understand it more deeply than I ever could. I place these burdens into your hands now, trusting that you will carry what I cannot. Replace my heaviness with your peace. Replace my doubt with your truth. Replace my striving with a gentle assurance that I am enough, because you are with me. Teach me to rest in that truth, even as I move through the responsibilities of the day. As I walk forward, help me to remain aware of your presence. In moments of joy, let me give thanks. In moments of difficulty, let me draw closer to you. In moments of stillness, let me listen for your voice. Keep my heart soft and open, so that I may recognize the quiet ways you are guiding me. Whether through a sudden sense of peace, a timely word, or an unexpected turn, remind me that you are always at work, even when I cannot see it. And Lord, as I continue this day, I choose to trust you again and again, not just once in the morning, but in every step I take. When I forget, gently remind me. When I hesitate, lovingly encourage me. When I grow weary, renew my strength. Let this day not be driven by pressure or fear, but by a quiet confidence that comes from walking with you. You are already ahead of me, and that is enough. Thank you, Lord, for going before me. Thank you for loving me so faithfully. Thank you for guiding me with such patience and care. I rest in that truth now, and I carry it with me into every moment of this day. There is a quiet strength that begins to form within you when you truly accept that God has gone before you. It is not loud or forceful, nor does it demand attention. Instead, it settles softly into your spirit, like a calm presence that steadies your thoughts and eases your heart. As you continue through this day, you may notice moments where uncertainty tries to return, small whispers of doubt, questions about what lies ahead, or a subtle urge to take control again. Yet even in these moments, there is an invitation waiting for you, to return gently and without judgment, to trust. Trust is not a single decision made once in the morning. It is a quiet choice made again and again throughout the day. Each time you feel unsure, you are given another opportunity to lean back into the truth that God is already ahead of you. He is present in the conversations you have not yet had, in the places you have not yet gone, and in the outcomes you cannot yet see. Nothing you encounter today will surprise him. Nothing will catch him unprepared. And because of that, you are allowed to walk with a lighter heart, even when the path feels unclear. Sometimes, the unknown can feel intimidating because it reminds us of our limitations. We are not able to predict everything, fix everything, or understand everything. But perhaps this is not a weakness to be feared, but a space where faith can quietly grow. When you do not know what is coming next, you are invited to rely more deeply on the one who does. And in that reliance, something beautiful begins to unfold. A relationship that is not built on certainty, but on trust, not on control, but on surrender. As you move through your responsibilities today, try to notice the pace of your heart. Is it rushing ahead, trying to solve what has not yet happened? Or is it willing to stay present, to take each moment as it comes? There is a gentle peace that can only be found in the present moment, where God's grace is always sufficient. Yesterday has already passed, and tomorrow has not yet arrived, but today this moment is where His presence meets you fully. When you remain here, you begin to see that you are not lacking what you need. You are being given just enough strength, just enough wisdom, just enough grace for this step. There may also be moments when you feel delayed or redirected, when things do not unfold according to your expectations. In those moments, it is easy to feel discouraged or confused. But what if those delays are not obstacles, but acts of quiet protection? What if those redirections are not setbacks, but gentle guidance towards something better? When God goes before you, even the closed doors carry meaning. Even the pauses hold purpose. You may not understand it immediately, but in time, you may look back and see that what once felt like a disruption was actually a form of care. It is also important to be gentle with yourself as you walk this path. You are not expected to trust perfectly. There may be moments when fear rises, when doubt lingers, or when your heart feels heavy again. This does not mean you have failed. It simply means you are human, learning to walk with God in a deeper way. Each time you return to trust, even after doubt, you are strengthening your faith. Each time you choose peace over worry, you are allowing His presence to shape you more fully. As the day continues, let your awareness of God remain soft but steady. You do not need to strive to feel his presence in a dramatic way. Often, he is found in the quiet within a moment of stillness, a gentle thought, a sense of calm that cannot be fully explained. These are the subtle ways he reminds you that he is near, that he is leading, that he has not left you to figure things out alone. Carry this truth with you. You are being guided with care. Every step you take is seen. Every concern you carry is known. Every moment of your day is held within his loving awareness. And because he goes before you, you do not have to walk with fear. You can walk with a quiet confidence, a gentle faith, and a heart that is open to whatever he has prepared. So continue forward, not with pressure, but with peace, not with striving, but with trust. The path may not always be clear, but the one who leads you is faithful, and that is more than enough. There is a deep and quiet rest that becomes available to you when you truly believe that God has already gone before you. It is not the kind of rest that comes from having an easy day or a life without challenges, but a deeper kind, one that settles into your soul regardless of circumstances. This rest is rooted in trust. It is the gentle assurance that you do not have to carry everything on your own, that you are not responsible for holding the world together, and that the one who leads you is both faithful and kind. As you continue through this day, you may notice how easily your thoughts try to take on burdens that were never meant for you. You may find yourself replaying conversations, anticipating problems, or trying to control outcomes that are still far ahead. These patterns often come quietly, almost unnoticed, yet they can slowly weigh down your spirit. In these moments, there is a gentle invitation waiting for you not to strive harder, but to release, to pause, to breathe, and to remember that God is already present in the places you are worrying about. He has gone before you, and he is not asking you to arrive there before your time. Resting in God does not mean becoming passive or careless. It means walking faithfully while releasing the need to control everything. It means doing what is yours to do today, while trusting him with what is beyond your reach. There is a beautiful balance here, a rhythm of action and surrender. You move forward with intention, but your heart remains anchored in peace. You engage with your responsibilities, but you are not consumed by them. You care deeply, but you are not overwhelmed, because you know that the outcome is not entirely in your hands. There is also a quiet healing that takes place when you allow yourself to rest in this way. Your mind begins to slow down. Your breathing becomes steadier. The tension you may have been holding without realizing it starts to soften. And in that softening, you become more aware of God's presence, not as something distant or abstract, but as something near, gentle, and real. You begin to notice small moments of grace throughout your day, a sense of calm in a busy moment, a kind interaction, a feeling of reassurance when you least expect it. These are not accidents. They are reminders that you are being cared for in ways you may not always see. Sometimes, resting in God also means accepting that you do not have all the answers right now. There may be questions in your heart that remain unresolved, situations that feel uncertain, or paths that are not yet clear. It is natural to want clarity, to seek resolution, to understand what comes next. But faith often invites you to live within the questions for a while, trusting that answers will come in their time. When God goes before you, he does not reveal everything at once. Instead, he gives you just enough light for the next step, just enough peace to keep moving forward. As the day continues, try to create small spaces of stillness within your routine. These do not have to be long or elaborate. Even a brief pause, a quiet breath, a simple prayer, a moment of awareness can gently bring you back to a place of rest. In these moments, you are not stepping away from your responsibilities, but reconnecting with the source of your strength. You are reminding yourself that you are not alone, that you are supported, that you are guided. It is also important to remember that God's presence is not dependent on your performance. You do not have to be perfect to be led by him. You do not have to have everything together to receive his guidance. He meets you in your imperfection, in your questions, in your moments of weakness, and he leads you with patience, never rushing you, never condemning you, but always inviting you forward with love. So as you walk through the rest of this day, let your heart remain anchored in this quiet truth. You are not alone, and you do not have to carry everything. The Lord has gone before you, and He is walking with you still. You are allowed to rest, even as you move. You are allowed to trust, even when you do not fully understand. You are allowed to release what was never yours to hold. And in that gentle release, you may begin to feel something shift within you, a lightness, a peace, a quiet confidence that was not there before. This is the gift of resting in God. It does not remove every challenge, but it changes how you carry them. It reminds you that you are held, guided, and deeply loved every step of the way. As the day continues to unfold, there comes a moment when trust must gently transform into action. It is one thing to believe that God has gone before you, but it is another to take each step with that belief quietly anchored in your heart. Life does not pause while you reflect. Responsibilities still call your name, decisions still wait to be made, and moments still arrive that require your presence and attention. Yet within all of this movement, there is a deeper truth that remains steady. You are not stepping forward alone. There is a quiet strength that God places within you, not as something loud or forceful, but as a steady and sustaining presence. This strength does not rush you or pressure you. Instead, it meets you exactly where you are, giving you what you need for each moment as it comes. You may not feel fully prepared for everything ahead, and that is okay. God does not ask you to have complete confidence in yourself, but to place your trust in Him. And in doing so, you begin to discover that His strength becomes your own in ways that are gentle yet powerful. There may be moments today when you are called to do something difficult, perhaps a conversation that requires honesty, a decision that carries weight, or a task that feels beyond your current energy. In these moments, it is natural to hesitate, to question whether you are capable, or to wish for more clarity before moving forward. But remember, the same God who goes before you also walks beside you. He does not simply prepare the path and leave you to walk it alone. He remains with you, offering quiet guidance, steady courage, and the reassurance that you are supported in every step. When you feel uncertain, allow yourself to pause for just a moment. Take a gentle breath and bring your attention back to God's presence. You do not need long prayers or perfect words. Even a simple whisper within your heart, "Lord, be with me," is enough. In that small act of turning toward Him, you create space for His peace to enter. You may not suddenly have all the answers, but you will find a calmness that allows you to move forward without being overwhelmed. It is also important to recognize that strength does not always look like boldness. Sometimes, strength is quiet. It is choosing patience when you feel rushed. It is responding with kindness when you feel frustrated. It is continuing forward even when you feel tired. These small, unseen moments of faith are deeply meaningful. They are the places where your trust becomes real, where your belief is lived out in gentle and steady ways. As you continue your day, try not to measure your progress by how much you accomplish, but by how faithfully you walk. Success, in the eyes of God, is not about perfection or performance. It is about presence. It is about walking with Him, listening for His guidance, and responding with a willing heart. Even if your steps feel small or slow, they are still valuable when they are taken in trust. There may also be moments when you feel like you have fallen short, when you speak too quickly, when you lose patience, or when you allow worry to take hold again. In these moments, be gentle with yourself. God's grace is not fragile. It does not withdraw the moment you falter. Instead, it meets you right there, offering forgiveness, renewal, and another opportunity to continue forward. You are not expected to walk perfectly, only faithfully. As the hours pass, let your awareness of God remain close to your heart. You do not need to constantly remind yourself in a forceful way. Instead, let it be like a quiet background melody, steady, comforting, and always present. When challenges arise, return to that awareness. When peace comes, give thanks for it. When you feel tired, lean into His strength once more. And as you take each step, remember this: The path before you is not random. It has been seen, prepared, and held within God's loving care. You may not understand every moment, but you can trust that none of it is without purpose. Even the smallest step matters. Even the quietest act of faith is seen. So walk forward now, gently but surely. You have been given enough strength for this moment. You are being guided with care. And the God who goes before you is also the one who sustains you, step by step, with a love that does not fade. As the day gently continues, you may find yourself somewhere in the middle of your journey, no longer at the quiet beginning, yet not quite at the end. It is often in these middle moments that your heart begins to feel the weight of the day more deeply. The initial calm may have faded, responsibilities may have accumulated, and unexpected situations may have unfolded. Yet even here, in this in-between space, God's presence remains just as steady, just as near, and just as faithful as it was in the morning. There is a special kind of peace that God offers in the middle of the journey. It is not dependent on everything going well, nor is it shaken when things become difficult. Instead, it is a quiet and steady presence that anchors you, even when your surroundings feel uncertain. This peace does not remove the challenges you face, but it gently changes how you carry them. What once felt overwhelming begins to feel manageable. What once stirred anxiety begins to soften into trust. You may notice moments when your thoughts begin to race again, trying to solve everything at once or anticipate what might go wrong next. This is a natural response, especially when the day feels full. But in these moments, you are invited to pause, not to stop your responsibilities, but to reconnect with the truth that you are not carrying this day alone. God is still before you, still beside you, still within every moment you are living right now. Take a gentle breath and allow yourself to slow down, even if only for a few seconds. In that small pause, remind yourself that you are held. You do not need to rush ahead in your mind. You do not need to fix everything immediately. There is grace for this moment, just as there was grace for the beginning of the day, and there will be grace for what comes later. God's provision is not given all at once, but moment by moment, exactly when you need it. Sometimes, peace in the middle of the journey comes through acceptance. Not a passive acceptance, but a gentle willingness to acknowledge where you are without resistance. Perhaps the day has not gone as planned. Perhaps things feel more difficult than you expected. Instead of fighting against this reality, you can quietly place it into God's hands. You can say, within your heart, Lord, this is where I am, and I trust you here. In that simple act of surrender, something begins to shift. The tension eases, and space is created for peace to enter. It is also in these middle moments that your faith becomes more refined. In the morning, it is easier to trust when everything feels fresh and calm. But now, as the day has unfolded, your trust is being lived out in real and tangible ways. Each choice to remain calm, each decision to respond with grace, each moment of quiet surrender, these are the places where your relationship with God deepens. They may seem small, but they are deeply meaningful. You may also encounter others throughout your day who are carrying their own burdens, even if they do not show it. As you walk in God's peace, you begin to carry a gentle presence that can bring comfort to those around you. A kind word, a patient response, a listening ear, these small acts can reflect the peace that God has placed within you. In this way, His presence not only sustains you, but also flows through you, touching the lives of others in quiet and meaningful ways. As you continue forward, remember that you do not have to wait until the end of the day to feel at peace. Peace is available to you right now, in the middle of everything. It is found not in having all the answers, but in knowing that God is with you. It is found not in controlling every outcome, but in trusting the one who already sees the end from the beginning. So let your heart rest, even as your day continues. Let your thoughts soften, even as responsibilities remain. Let your spirit remain open to the quiet ways God is guiding you, even now. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment, walking a path that is held within God's loving care. And as you take the next step, Carry this gentle truth with you. The same God who guided your beginning is sustaining you in the middle, and He will remain faithful until the very end. As the day begins to lean toward its later hours, there is often a quiet awareness of what has been done and what still remains. Some things may have gone well, unfolding with ease and clarity. Other things may feel unfinished, unresolved, or even slightly heavy in your heart. It is in these moments that a gentle truth becomes especially important. Not everything needs to be completed today for God's work in your life to continue. There is a natural tendency within us to seek closure, to want every task finished, every question answered, and every concern settled before the day ends. Yet life does not always move in such neat and complete ways. Some conversations remain open, some decisions take time, some answers unfold slowly. When this happens, it can be easy to feel unsettled, as though something is lacking or incomplete. But God's presence is not limited to what is finished. He is just as present in the unfinished spaces, gently holding what you cannot yet resolve. As you reflect on your day, you may begin to notice areas where you feel a sense of incompleteness. Instead of allowing this to create pressure within you, consider offering these unfinished pieces to God. You do not need to carry them into the night with a restless heart. You can quietly say, "Lord, I trust you with what I could not finish today." In doing so, you are not giving up responsibility, but releasing unnecessary weight. You are acknowledging that while you have done your part, the rest is safely held in His care. There is also a quiet humility in accepting that you are not meant to do everything at once. Your time, your energy, and your understanding all have limits, and that is not a flaw, it is part of being human. God, in His wisdom, does not expect you to complete the entire journey in a single day. Instead, He leads you step by step, allowing things to unfold gradually. What remains unfinished today may find its completion tomorrow, or it may transform into something entirely different in time. In these later moments of the day, your heart may also begin to revisit certain experiences, words that were spoken, actions that were taken, or moments that did not go as you had hoped. If there is anything that brings a sense of regret or discomfort, bring that gently before God as well. His grace is not limited to your successes, it extends fully into your imperfections. Where you feel you have fallen short, He offers forgiveness. Where you feel uncertain, He offers understanding. Where you feel burdened, He offers peace. Trusting God with what remains unfinished also means trusting His timing. There are things that cannot be rushed, no matter how much you might want them to be resolved. Growth takes time, healing takes time, clarity takes time. When God goes before you, He is not only preparing the path, but also preparing the right moments for things to unfold. Even what feels delayed is still within His care. Nothing is forgotten, nothing is overlooked. As the day gently moves forward, allow yourself to release the need for everything to be perfectly in place. You have walked faithfully through the hours you were given. You have done what you could with the strength and understanding you had, and that is enough. You do not need to strive for more in order to be at peace. Instead, you are invited to rest in the quiet assurance that God is still at work, even in what is incomplete. There is a deep comfort in knowing that while your day may be coming to a close, God's work does not stop. He continues to move, to guide, and to prepare, even beyond what you can see. The path ahead is still being shaped, and you are still being led with care. What you leave unfinished today is not lost. It is simply placed into His hands, where it will be held with wisdom and love. So let your heart begin to soften as you approach the end of this day. Release the tension of what remains undone. Let go of the pressure to have everything resolved. Trust that God, who went before you this morning, is still present now, gently carrying forward what you cannot. And in this quiet surrender, you may find a deeper peace, a peace that does not depend on completion, but on trust. A peace that reminds you that you are not defined by what you finish, but by the one who faithfully leads you day by day. As the day gently draws closer to its end, there is a quiet invitation to reflect, not with pressure or judgment, but with a soft and open heart. You have walked through many moments today, some peaceful, some challenging, some perhaps unnoticed as they quietly passed. And through it all, whether you were fully aware or not, God has remained present. He has gone before you, walked beside you, and stayed with you through every step. Now, as the evening settles in, you are invited to rest once more in that faithful presence. There is no need to replay the entire day with a critical mind. You do not need to measure every action or analyze every word. Instead, allow your reflection to be gentle. Notice where you felt peace, even if only briefly. Notice where you sensed guidance, even if it was subtle. Notice the moments where you were able to trust, even if it was not perfect. These are the quiet places where God's presence touched your day, and they are worthy of your attention. If there were moments that felt heavy, times when you felt overwhelmed, uncertain, or weary, bring those gently before God now. You do not have to carry them into your rest. You can release them, one by one, into His care. Say within your heart, "Lord, I give this to you." There is something deeply healing about this simple act of surrender. It reminds you that you were never meant to carry everything alone, and that even now, at the end of the day, you are still being held. You may also find yourself reflecting on things you wish had gone differently. Perhaps there were words you would change, actions you would soften, or moments where you wish you had responded with more grace. In these thoughts, be careful not to become harsh with yourself. God's grace is still present here. He sees your heart, your intentions, and your desire to grow. Where there is regret, He offers forgiveness. Where there is weakness, He offers understanding. You are not defined by your imperfections, but by His love that remains constant. As the evening deepens, there is a beautiful opportunity to let your heart become still. The busyness of the day begins to fade, and in its place, a quiet calm can begin to settle. This is a sacred space, where you can simply be without striving, without rushing, without needing to prove anything. In this stillness, God's presence often feels closer, not because He has moved, but because you have allowed yourself to slow down enough to notice. Let your thoughts begin to quiet, like waves gently settling after a long day. You do not need to hold on to every detail. You do not need to carry every concern into the night. Trust that the same God who guided you today will continue to watch over you as you rest. He does not sleep. He does not grow weary. His care for you remains constant, even as your body and mind begin to relax. As you prepare to rest, you may find comfort in simply acknowledging God's faithfulness. Thank Him for the ways He has guided you, even if you did not fully recognize them at the time. Thank Him for the strength you were given, for the peace that carried you, and for the grace that covered you. Gratitude, even in small amounts, has a gentle way of bringing peace to your heart. And as you lay down the weight of the day, remember this: nothing you experience today is outside of God's awareness. Every step you took was seen. Every thought you carried was known. Every moment, whether joyful or difficult, was held within His care. You are not ending this day alone. You are resting in the presence of a God who has been with you from the very beginning. So let go now. Let your heart soften. Let your mind rest. The day is complete, and you have walked it faithfully. What remains can be entrusted to God. What is ahead will be prepared by Him. And you, in this quiet moment, are safe to rest. As this day comes to its gentle close, let your heart rest in the quiet assurance that you were never alone. From the very first moment of the morning until now, God has gone before you, walked beside you, and remained faithfully near. Every step you took, whether strong or uncertain, was held within His care. And now, you are invited to release it all into His loving hands. Take a slow breath and let your spirit soften. You do not need to carry anything more. The unfinished tasks, the lingering thoughts, the quiet concerns, you can place them all before Him. He is still working even as you rest. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for your guidance, your patience, and your unending love. As I lay down to rest, I trust you with all that I cannot control. Renew my strength, calm my heart, and prepare me for a new day ahead. Go before me again tomorrow, just as you did today. If this prayer has touched your heart, take a moment to pause, reflect, and carry this peace with you. And if you feel led, share this quiet message with someone who may need it. Amen.